reading session of this week. Happy Monday to you. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Today we're going to be doing some reading activities across the week linked to Derek, something that I know you should know well by now after doing it with Mrs. Musk and Miss Davies as well. So first of all, in a similar fashion, I have a picture here, and you may recognise this picture from the story of the enormous crocodile. I'll ask you some questions linked to this picture. So your first question is, what does the word menacing mean? What does the word menacing mean? Okay, what does the word menacing mean? So write down your answer. What do you think the word menacing means? Okay, and that's part of our explain, part of our retrieve. So question will be able to know the answer by retrieving it, by taking it from the picture. Okay, how many children are in the picture? Now that's quite a straightforward one. Okay, how many children are in the picture? And our third question, third part is when we interpret or when we infer, use our inference skills. And that's when we look at clues in the text to read in between the lines to answer questions. Often the answer, you have to think a little bit harder for the answer. The answer isn't right there staring at you. You have to really think about the answer from the clues you get in the text. And that question is, what shows you that the children are feeling scared? What shows you that the children are feeling scared? And last, we have our choice question. What do you think the illustrator, Quentin Blake, what do you think the illustrator, I think that's supposed to say why. Why do you think the illustrator, Quentin Blake, drew the enormous crocodile looking straight toward the reader? It's almost like he's looking straight towards the camera. It's a bit creepy, isn't it? It's a bit weird. Why do you think the illustrator chose to do that? Okay, you pause your video and answer those questions. So what does the word menacing mean? So menacing means something that can cause threat, harm, or danger. Threat, harm, or danger. Okay, such as the enormous crocodile with the razor sharp teeth and claws. Question number 2. How many children are in the picture? So there are 4 children in the picture. That's a retrieval question. For your interpret or your infer question, what shows that the children are feeling scared? Well, we can tell that they're scared because they're kind of retreating back, particularly the boy in the reds. He's retreating back like this. The girl with the kind of the reddish hair, screaming like this, "Ah, please, please, don't hurt me." And the girl here with the curly hair, shocked like this. Okay, so there's lots of visual clues there that we can use which help us to know how they're feeling. And why, not what, do you think the illustrator, Quentin Blake, drew the enormous crocodile looking straight toward the reader? Now that's for you guys to kind of choose your own answer. For me personally, I think it makes him look more menacing, more scary. You know, I'm feeling a little bit on edge now, a little bit intimidated, seeing this enormous crocodile looking right at me. Okay. This piece of text is called Ambush, and it follows the recount in first person of somebody who's with Robin Hood the night where he's about to ambush some people. Ambush is when you lie waiting or in hiding, waiting for something or someone to come along before you jump out and attack them. So, be careful, we don't want to see any movement in the trees. Robin Hood's voice was hushed but fierce. I'd been serving him faithfully now for nearly a year, and it upset me that he didn't trust me yet. This was my first night hunting with him, and I didn't want to let him down. I didn't reply. Instead, I squeezed myself up into a smaller ball in the thick bough of a tree. I tried my hardest to stay quiet, but I felt a sneeze come to the back of my nose. It was hard, but I managed to snuffle it out in my thick woolen sleeve. I heard my master sigh again under his breath. Have we had any word from John yet? I asked after a long silence. Again he sighed. Have you seen a big giant of a man come running down the road? He asked with strained patience. I shook my head. The night passed slowly. I didn't dare to speak after that. I was worried it would provoke him further. My fine cloak had been a gift from Robin when I'd sworn allegiance to his men. Its thick fibres were certainly keeping the chill of air from my bones. Unable to help myself, I asked, So, have you had any luck on this road before? Several times, he answered with a nod. The main road to London passed us by not far from here. There are lots of dangerous men on that road, so the wealthy travellers normally use these more sheltered roads. And that's where we attack them, I asked with what I thought was enthusiasm. We don't attack if we can help it. Little John will give them the option of paying to pass, and if they refuse, then we have no choice. As if out of nowhere, I heard the low rumble of a cart on the track. A piercing whistle came from directly below my branch. I looked down and I saw the broad back of Little John. How had somebody of his size managed to sneak so close to me? One day, take a minute to watch him move, Robin Hood said as if he'd read my mind. I didn't have time to watch him. He was striding out into the middle of the road just in time for the cart to pull up. What the devil are you doing? The driver was clearly in no mood to surrender to our demands. This is a toll path. Little John's voice was calm. He didn't need to be big or loud. His size did that for him. Over my dead body! The driver banged on the roof of the carriage, and several armed guards stepped out. That can be arranged, said Robin, as he dropped from the tree and drew his sword. Take them prisoner if you can. They're worth more that way. So I want you to pause the video, and what you're going to do, you're going to write down any unfamiliar words or vocabulary that you don't know, or that you're not quite sure what they mean, or any that you haven't really heard of, and make a list of those words. And what we're going to do, I've made a list of those words that I'm going to talk you through, and we can see if we have any words similar or different. So it's your chance to pause the video. You might want to rewind it, and as it's being read out to you again, jot down any words that you haven't really heard before, and then we'll compare our list together. So if you pause your video now and have a go at that. So I've highlighted some of the words that I think may be unfamiliar to some of you. There's lots in there because this piece of text is rich with vocabulary and new vocabulary. So some of the words I've chosen are hushed, faithfully, bow, provoke, refuse, allegiance, fibres, sheltered, wealthy, piercing, broad, surrender, and demands. So some definitions of some of the words I highlighted. So refuse is when you're unwilling to accept or do something, and I'm sure you guys never do that. Year 3 are very lovely, so I'm sure refuse isn't something that you will do. When you refuse to do something, you say you're not going to do something, you're determined not to do something. Provoke is when you make something or someone angry or annoyed to bring on an action or a reaction. Okay. A bough is the main branch of a tree, and if you remember, that's where all of the characters in the story were hiding in the trees, ready for their ambush. Faithfully is when you remain loyal to someone or something. If you remember, our character is loyal to Robin Hood. Hushed is when you're speaking in a quiet and usually quite serious tone. And allegiance is when you pledge or you swear, you say, I'm going to be loyal or committed to a group or cause. Of money or resources or possessions. Shelter means protect. Fibres are threads of clothing. Surrender is when you give up or hand something over. Demand is impolitely asking or forcing something to be given to you. And piercing, in this context, in this story, is it was loud and often high pitched. So if you remember, Little John whistled when the time was ready to ambush, and it was loud and high pitched, like an alarm. And the word broad means wide. So your task today is to write down any words that are unfamiliar to you, which some of you may have done already, and to find their meanings using a dictionary. And then I want you to choose 3 of the words that are new to you and use them in a sentence. So I chose the word demand. If you remember in the story, they demanded money for the carriage to go past. And my sentence is: the man who was feeling angry at this point demanded to speak to the manager. And I've drawn a picture showing that as well. So I want you to draw a picture showing one of your definitions as well. So that draws our reading lesson to a close. Join me tomorrow, where we'll be embarking on the next part of our reading lesson, where we'll be focusing on that piece of text again, but some retrieval questions where we're pulling the answers out of the text. So thank you for watching, and good luck with your activity, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye bye.